I'm Erika Grace Powell-Fairber, and I got hearing aids a year ago this month. And they've really changed my life in a lot of ways, and I'm sure they have helped change the people's lives who are very close to me. I feel like that the benefit has been twofold in a lot of ways. It was kind of like walking around with a sleeping bag on my head is what I often say the sound felt like once I had that clarity and crispness again, thanks to hearing aids. And I didn't really realize what I was missing. I guess on paper it had shown me like, oh, the rustling of the leaves or the birds or this or that, like could be hard for you to hear. But when I really realized I was having trouble hearing was when like the oven was going off with something in it and I could not hear the beep. And my dog was the one like alerting me to attention in the kitchen, like you may burn your house down. And I was like, I think I should probably check this out. The other thing that was really interesting was I think when you live with roommates all through high school, college, whatever age as you go through your education, they think you're just not paying attention and it's not that important to tell you like, you don't listen to me or you can't hear. But when you get married, a spouse is going to tell you that all the time. And so my husband was like, I really think you're not listening. And I was like, I know I'm listening. I know I work really, really, really hard to listen. And sure enough, my graph and like my test showed that I was probably the hardest working listener in the room. It was just that I was missing a lot of what was being said, especially by male voices, like my husband in another room facing a different direction, saying something that I just didn't have context on what it was. So having that improve on a daily basis like was really, really where I see a benefit lifelong and instantly when I put them in the morning. And for people that say, oh, is it just perfect? I think it's like what I would hope people would start seeing hearing aids just the same way they see contacts or LASIK. Like this is a thing that you need every day. You really want to be able to see when you're driving. You want to be able to hear when you're at a concert. You know, doing this little bit of check-in on your health or really paying attention when people say, I don't think that you're hearing me, or I think that maybe that's hard for you. You can't hear that, you know, or when Netflix is up to like volume 50 and you're going, why do I have to turn up Netflix so loud? And you get mad at Netflix. Go have a little check-in and get a hearing scan, like get your baseline, figure out, you know, is this something that I need to like pay attention to, do more to help combat? Because I guess from where I sat and I learned that like your brain activity is what is associated with the sounds that you hear. And like your brain, just like a muscle, if you don't go to the gym and work out your bicep, that bicep will atrophy and like not be very useful to you. And same with these pathways in your brain, when they can't hear the sound anymore, they're just going to turn off and tune out like everything about what you're hearing in your day, what you're missing. So this just really became like a very cool way for me to like experience life again, you know, just having the chance to put in a hearing aid and not only have it be super helpful because now my phone will never ring in church or in an important meeting. It's in a Bluetooth in my ear. Also, like when I'm scrolling Instagram, like if the sound turns on, like it just becomes a tool. And my husband's even like, I kind of think I want a pair of those. You know, the earpods are kind of the closest thing he can have to it. But everybody in my family has had to get their hearing checked. So my mom has the most significant, I think, loss of anybody, but she's also older than us. And so she was the first person that were like, Mom, you really need hearing aids. And then it was like, oh, but I do too, and my brother does, and my sister does, because a lot of our hearing loss is hereditary. But I also think that a lot of loss these days, probably in younger patients, has to come from noise exposure. Because when you really start thinking about at the first stage you put on a headset or headphones, like maybe I was in 5th grade, but the other day I was at the restaurant and like the 2-year-old had on headphones. And so at what age we are constantly like putting technology and audio into our ears, in ear, I feel like it's going to be earlier and earlier that you need to do a little check-in on your hearing, and just the same way that you get your eyes checked. Like find out if this is something that you're missing and if it could be improved, because quality of life will improve when you can hear well.